This project is filled with so many twists and turns. What was your initial reaction when you read this script?
Well, I'll be completely honest with you. I said yes to the script before I read it. So as soon as I heard Mel Gibson was the lead, I, s- uh, I I had a Skype with the director before then, and he said, "Would you like to do this?" I said, "Look, Mel's the lead. I'm in." So I took the part, and then I read the script, and I thought it was incredibly. It it read to me like a magic trick.
Mhm.
It was like one reveal after the next, and I think it lends itself very much like the French kind of vaudeville style of like almost mime. The way the French are very clever at
Mm.
like doing mime. They're very clever at like misdirect and that kind of illusion, energy. So it lended itself to that, which I think is why a French writer director made such a good movie out of that script.
Definitely. You shared on social media that you've looked up to Mel your entire life. What was it like getting to collaborate with him on this project?
Yeah, for me, Mel Gibson is the iconic movie star. He is. I've always looked up to him. I've always seen him as kind of a titan of our industry. And in terms of his acting performances in Lethal Weapon and his directing in Apocalypto and Braveheart, and Hacksaw Ridge, I always felt that he finds humanity and art and and a lot of commercial energy as well, which I always like. So to me, working with him was just incredible.
Yeah, I know that Mel was able to hear Paul's voice through his headset while filming this project. Were you able to as well?
Yes, I could hear Paul with the headset when I was wearing it. It wasn't easy because sometimes the headsets didn't work. Like
Mm.
sometimes Paul was just in the back room, like doing his lines, and we didn't see him. And my headset wouldn't work. And I remember one day Enrique Akers' headset didn't work, and I had to give him the cues by my fingers of when to say his line. So that's just movie making.
Yeah.
Often things don't go the way you want. They often don't, go the way everybody wants them to go. So you just make the best of it.
Yeah. I was just going to ask how that immersive experience allowed you to kind of elevate your performance.
That immersive experience allowed me to elevate my performance in a way that I felt, I felt that I could tap into my nervous energy of working with Mel Gibson and use that for the nervous energy of the character going through this horrific experience of a hostage crisis.
Mhm.
So I just, sometimes, I had an acting coach who used to say, bring your day with you, bring your day into the scene. I heard Tom Cruise saying that before. And I think that's a very wise piece of advice. Kind of don't fight yourself because you're using yourself to create this scenario. So that's kind of what I did.
Great answer. You have so many powerful scenes within the film where you're portraying Dylan's emotions without dialogue. As an actor, how do you create this space for yourself to dive into those particular moments?
It's a physical response sometimes as opposed to an emotional
Mm.
response. If I physically engage the character, I feel like emotionally it follows, and that way I don't have to think too much. I would just do 100 push-ups before I would go into the scene, or I do 50 jumping jacks, and people would literally think I was crazy. The other actors,
Yeah.
the scene when I had to point the gun, and be really emotional. There were 20 other actors there, and I was just doing push-ups in front of them, and I felt pretty stupid, but they actually respected that I was just trying to get there, find that character, and then when I did the take, I was happy with it. It worked. So you just find what you can on the day, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that caption that you posted on Instagram makes so much more sense now, where you wrote 5,000 push-ups.
Yeah.
Rob wrote and directed this project. Is the experience different when the person who created this universe is also at the helm directing? What was that experience like?
Rom is pretty much the nicest, easiest, one of the easiest directors that I've ever worked with, and people as well. He's a very nurturing person. He's a very kind person, very respectful of the process of being an actor, and in that way, like he just encourages you and supports you and just gives you what you need and respects what you're doing, and Yeah, I just loved working with him, and anything else he ever makes, I will be there in a heartbeat. So I was very fortunate that he was making that movie, and very grateful to him to bring me on.
Yeah, now that the film is out, is there a scene in particular that you're really excited for your fans to see?
I think this. Oh, I won't say too much there. I almost revealed something I shouldn't have. I think for me, the part of the movie that people should enjoy is just all the twists and turns. It's a bit like being on a slide, and going down a slide. And some one way you're going that way, so you go that way, so you go that way, and trying to predict what's going to happen next is almost impossible. I think most people don't figure it out. So I'm just excited to see what the response is from the audience.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to figure out the different twists that are in there. I did not see that they're coming.
Exactly.
There's a point in the film where Gary is unraveling and talks about how this is almost like a movie and asks Elvis who would play him in this film. If you had to pick an actor who would play you in the story of your life, who would it be and why?
That's a great question. Well, I suppose it. Oh my God, if I had to pick someone, I mean, if I could have Brad Pitt when he's young, I wouldn't turn that down. Or Leonardo DiCaprio. But I would hope that somebody who plays me finds my spirit, because that I think is the most important thing that you look for as an actor, and you look for in a person that you're watching. You can have a beautiful face, you can have a beautiful body, you can have a beautiful voice, but if you haven't got a spirit, like a sense of like an internal energy, then you kind of haven't got anything. You could be the ugliest person in the world, but if you've got a beautiful spirit, you've got like a lot of energy, you've got a great spirit inside of you, then you can be very watchable on camera. So I just hope that somebody would find my energy, find my spirit.
Great answer. You guys all look like you had so much fun filming this project. Do you have a
Yeah.
favorite behind the scenes moment?
A favorite behind the scenes moment really was I did enjoy doing that big scene with the gun, actually, that one when everybody comes in and Mel's it, and it was just a weird feeling to do it because I had some really great actors in front of me, and I was pointing a gun, and I was emotional, and it was a bit like a pinch me moment, where I was looking at Mel Gibson across this room, and I was holding this gun up, and I'm from like everybody's just from a small town, but I'm just from a small town, so to be there in that moment was cool. And actually, from a purely a viewer point of view, I think it came across well, that scene.
Yeah, definitely. And then outside of this project, what's next for you?
Well, currently I'm in Nashville filming Savage Lands. I'm playing Davy Crockett. And we have Colm Meaney here, who's playing the antagonist. Obviously, I'm playing the protagonist. It's a survival film based in the early 1800s, and it's a very, it's going to be a very beautiful film. We're on the Alexa 35. We're filming with anamorphic lenses, so it will look very pretty. It will look very beautiful, and it's going to be a very exciting, fun film for audiences to see, and that should be coming out, I would say spring to summer of next year.
I got one final question for you. You've had such an incredible year in film, and you've been a part of so many big projects. What's left on your bucket list?
That's a great question, and thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. For me, what's left on my bucket list is to continue making good films, to continue growing my spirit, growing my energy, and just continuing to be proud of the work I'm doing and the people I'm working with, and I just want to I feel like I'm on the path now I wanted to be on for a long time, and I'm on it now, and I'm just going to keep going forward.